Simple. Great.
So when you do this, then you're going to have a great class, basically. Yes? So for me, this is the category if I want to make a great class.
Right.
But you can share yours.
That's right.
Oh yeah!
Okay. Teacher, we have one space on
Okay.
board.
I have an acronym.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Wow. Excellent.
Okay, my experience, I would like to share my acronym. Yeah, I think this is my role model. Okay, the first one is a good teacher is focused on the growing up of the students, especially the quality.
Oh, growth.
Yeah,
Yes.
specifically is for English mastery.
Okay.
And the next one is a good teacher must be able to running out the classroom activities.
Alright.
Especially about the discipline of the students, okay, about their interests. So a good teacher must be effective, especially in running all the sections in our classrooms. And the next one is encouraging. Okay, a good teacher also must be active in encouraging the students. So that's why by encouraging the students, the classroom will be more innovative and interactive.
Yes.
And the last one is accommodate.
That's not the last one.
No. Hey, yeah, accommodate. Yeah. Why does the learning process fail? Because the teachers, especially English teachers, cannot be able to accommodate. So yeah, when we teach something that is not their interest, so the classroom activities will be failed.
Yeah.
But when we able to accommodate their needs, especially by giving them the ice breaking and then designing the good materials, I think the classroom activity will be successfully conducted by us. And the last one is the responsibility of the teacher must be able to teach or training. Yeah. Generally, a teacher must be able to teach and then train. What's the difference between teaching and training? Teaching, I think, focus only for example, a number of the students, but for training, maybe less of 10 students. So we will be able to follow up the students' progress. So later on, we will be able as a good teacher. Especially great teacher.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one suggestion now.
Yeah.
Okay. Perhaps we'll give Jane a little while. I would like to propose that
Challenge for James.
I see Freddie,
Yeah.
I see Eddie, I see Ruby, and we have
The last one.
For Jane.
So Jane, could we request an acronym from you? If you want to come back later and do it. Okay, give you a little bit of time. Okay. And then we can actually have a picture of each of you.
And can I challenge Jane a little bit? Can I challenge you a bit? Okay. So you make the acronym based on your name. Jane.
Jane.
Jayme.
Whoa.
Can we?
Yeah.
This one will be my brand in teaching English. And then will be legalized.
Copyrighted, yeah? Copyright. That's a copyright.
As long as A is not alcoholic.
No, not alcoholic. Oh, will be fail. Accommodate.
Accommodate.
Yeah.
So ing,
yeah.
Okay. Teaching and training.
Teaching and training.
Stands for Brady, huh?
No, this is my brand, but this one I don't know. Okay.
So we are waiting on Jane.
Yeah.
So maybe she can do that, you know.
Feel free.
So
You can
you
try. When you're ready, you can put it out there.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we're ready to listen and learn.
So thank you. Would you like to just take a seat?
Okay.
That was fun. That was fun.
It was fun, wasn't it? Did you enjoy yourselves? It was colourful.
Yep.
You all participated.
That was amazing.
You were able to think of your teachers. Okay. I actually feel that there are a few things which, you know, might be kind of left out here.
Okay.
Just rack your brains one last time to see anything that you think could be added, okay? As a teacher, for yourself, what you think brings you forward into the classroom, or what do you think from the past teachers that you come across that made that teacher effective? Okay. Anything else that you think that you can add to this? Give yourself a minute. Okay.
Madam,
Yes.
I would like to ask you especially about the applications or how to apply about the digitalizations and then about the service. As we know, about the communications and creativity. The first one is service, ICT. Okay. As an English lecturer, I always try to accommodate the students' needs, especially because we are at a different distance. So I try to simplify and then make them easier how to contact with myself. For example, they do the assignment, okay, and then they submit, okay, to make sure they already done the project. They capture and then send it to my WhatsApp or maybe my email.
Yes.
But in different time or different styles, many teachers or maybe lecturers only focus on how to bring the hard copy, and then they make the promise. For example, the time how to gather, for example, in one place. So our students also are so busy, right? Especially in Medan, there is an evening class for English for working. That's why we try to accommodate by maximizing the ICT technology. And about the digitalize, especially for the senior English teacher, they are very closer with the not closer. They close themselves to accept the digitalizations. As we know nowadays, English teachers without ICT mastery, I think cannot be competing in this world. So that is why we try to solve that problem about the service by applying the ICT and the digitalizations mastery.
What is your suggestion? What do you suggest?
I mean, if I face that situations,
right.
Sometimes there is a confrontations between the junior teacher and the senior teacher.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to throw something into this. Okay. Do you think that all teachers should teach in the same way? Do you think that there might be a place for those antiques? Right? Just think about it for a minute and then maybe tell me what your feedback on that thought is. Right? As it is, we're in a situation whereby everybody seems to be teaching the same way, and it's dreadfully boring. So you are now thinking out of the box and going to this new box. Okay? Now imagine that everybody has come to this box. Do you think then that students might appreciate somebody who's back in the old box? Do you see that? And you see that sometimes that difference helps students to relate to the world. Okay? I'm always talking about the real world. We want our kids to be familiar with all those different types of people, and familiar with all the different types of teaching. Like, we had a discussion recently that sometimes, I think it was with you, that sometimes you appreciate it when you have one of the teachers in the staff room who's really fierce. Why? Because then the kids really love you and appreciate you because you're not fierce. They've got some comparison, but they've also got a picture of the world itself. Right? Not everybody in their environment, especially their bosses. You may have to work for somebody who's very belligerent and unpleasant and bossy and demands that respect, even though they haven't earned it. So one of the points that I just like to raise here is, whilst we are moving ahead and we would like everybody to move ahead. I think if it's not everybody, you would probably agree with me. But if it's everybody who is staying in, you know, the dinosaur mode, obviously that's not what the kids need. But I think when you have that one or two who are different, and the kids maybe have to be quiet to listen to them because they speak softly, they can't shout or whatever. Sometimes that helps because there's always somebody that it might reach, right? But I do agree that if we can, we should definitely be familiar and learn.
There is something interesting about that fact though. I mean, like, in reality, we see teachers who are very progressive, keep changing, you know, developing themselves and growing. On the other hand, there are teachers who are, for some reasons, they just want to stay where they are. Yes, in their comfort zone. So, and it's very difficult really to move these people forward. Because they feel like I'm okay there. So there are two possibilities what we can do on that. Number one, these people who are enjoying their comfort zone, they just need to make sure that with their comfort zone, the students can be the best learner. They can still learn with that way of, let's say, if we call it traditional way of teaching, or maybe they're not very tech savvy and all that. But the students still can learn with that thing. So then he must find a way to make sure that when I'm doing my class with a silent and more disciplined, proper, you know, like in old days. But if the students can actually perform better, maybe for example like exam preparation. Yes, in exam preparation you don't really jump around because you're sitting down there to really think, and you know, and these kind of teachers can actually probably perform better. Because they are doing it in a more conventional, traditional, but still structured. So what we need to do is help them to know how to structure their lesson effectively. Use your style, be more, traditional, but still the structure of your lesson must be clear. You start your class with an opener, and there is an icebreaker, you know how to do it effectively, and all that. So then, when the students go with this teacher, they will feel, ooh, yes.
And we say, here's an invitation to my class. Anytime you like. And then, you know, slowly but surely we can change their mindset.
Yes.
But in terms of technology, it can be very scary the older you get.
The
older you get, the more scary it is. You know, so sometimes we just have to let them go out quietly. They don't want to go out with a bang. They just want to go out quietly. And we just make sure that the new generation that's coming in is more qualified.
So also for that kind of suggestions, I used to observe one teacher, because in one of the TESOL rules, they have to use ICT in teaching. Because he wants to graduate from the TESOL, so he actually needs to use ICT in his class. Unfortunately, because he was not ready, so he spent like almost 45 minutes just to make sure this thing is showing right on the screen, and that he was struggling, and that kills his, you know, and he forgot one thing, that the SLT in his super learning team, he can actually find someone who is very tech savvy in the class. Because in our class, there is always one student who is good at this, good at that, good at this, you know. If you can see the mapping of your students, then you'll find out the students who are actually having their potential, and you can use that potential to support learning.
And how do they feel? How do they feel when you call upon them to help?
Excited.
Just to add Pak Ani's statement, I just now remember about technology savvy. I once read a book entitled as Digital Game-Based Learning, written by Mark Twain in 2002.